Hey everybody, it's John Brown, the Bandana Gamer, coming to you today with Game of the Year. So, a lot of awards have gone out this year for Game of the Year. The Game Awards held their show and awarded Sekiro Game of the Year. IGN has awarded Control Game of the Year, and a lot of other awards have been given out. And so that got me thinking, what is my Game of the Year? And that also then made me think of some other YouTube personalities. I was curious about what their Game of the Year was. So I sent out a call and asked a few of my friends on YouTube what their Game of the Year was. Now, since I interact with a lot of retro gamers, I didn't want to necessarily shoehorn them into a game that came out in 2019. I wanted to know, what is the game that impacted 2019 the most for you? So here are some of the responses I got. Let's start it off with 8Bitglitch79. Take it away.
Thanks, Bandana Gamer, for inviting me onto your collab video here, talking about my favorite game for 2019 and my unexpected favorite game of 2019, and that is this game here, Sydney Hunter and the Curse of the Mayans. Now, I was able to meet Gamester81 at the last convention I went to and discuss this game with him a bit, and I was telling him how much I enjoyed their Super NES game they came out with a couple years ago, Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death. It was, this is a very fun puzzle platforming game. You basically got to find the crystal skull in the cavern to move on to the next one and so on. And it's very fun. Very limited attack, but a very fun puzzle platformer. This game here adds a lot more elements to that original kind of game. And it's so much fun. I'm not expecting it to be one of my favorite top of 2019. Especially with a lot of AAA titles that came out this year. But this one really hit me in the nostalgic feels. It's got that 8-bit polished look to it. When you're playing it, you really feel like you're playing an old game, but new at the same time. I found that it had a lot of Mega Man and Castlevania elements to it. And with the Mega Man, when you fight the Mayan gods, just like each boss in Mega Man, where each one has its own power, and you kind of fight it inside a room. That was really cool. Then they have some epic big bosses, too, that are really cool. I also like the Castlevania elements. Of course, you got the whip as your main weapon, but you got sub-weapons you find and get and collect, as well as the finding things in the walls. And going back to the Mega Man, a lot of the platforming was the same as like Mega Man, with the blocks that appear and reappear to get up to the upper levels. So it hit me right in the nostalgic feels for that. It was a fun game. It had great gameplay. It had fluid controls. It's not a cheap death game. If you die in this game, it's because you messed up. It's not the game being too difficult or the game basically cheating and that cheating feeling. No, if you die, it's because you messed up. And once you get down figure out the patterns of the boss or the level that you're on, you can get it down. You can get it down with a lot of practice. You're not gonna have a bad time with this game, I guarantee it. So I highly recommend this game if you haven't tried it yet. It's on the eShop for the Switch. And if you haven't tried this game, the Super Nintendo game, go on out on Amazon. You can get a complete in-box one for like $40. This is a fun game. This is a real good. If you're big into Super Nintendo, you should add this to your collection. All right? So, until next time, I'm heading you back to Bandana Game.
Thanks, 8Bitglitch79. Now let's check in with Linda, aka the Gamer Girl, to see what her pick for 2019 is.
Hey guys, Linda, aka the Gamer Girl here, and thank you, Bandana Gamer, for having me here. So, I was asked what was my game of the year, and it really was a toss-up between like 3 games I am playing currently that are really taking up some time. Well, 4th if you count regular that I play a lot, but the game of the year had to go to Life is Strange, and technically this is still the same game, but a little bit different. So I played Life is Strange on the Xbox One, forgot about it, left it alone for like a good 6 months to a year, and then I grabbed it again, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it for the PS4, and that way I can play it again. So I played it again, and I was hooked. I was like, wow, I forgot how good this game was. The story is great, there is so many like scenarios. It's got a butterfly effect. What you do in the beginning could affect you in the beginning to make it differently at the end. A character who could help you at the end of the game, you mess with them at one point, they could mess with you later on. And I just wanted to play it all the way through. I played it all the way through, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to get every single thing, every single item, 100% it, just to have fun with it. And I did. And I don't regret it. I've played some games where I 100% it, and I just feel left hollow, like I wasted some time, but this game I didn't. I got to talk to different people, I tried different things, and for Life is Strange, the original one, there is photos you have to find, and some of them are a little tricky. Like, you have to figure out how to get through and make things trigger and different things to work out. And the other one is you have to do graffiti in Before the Storm, and you have to find all the spots where the graffiti is. And some of them, it's before you do the main event, you have to go and do the graffiti, otherwise you won't find it anymore, you'll get taken away from that spot. And I loved it. And also, I had never played Before the Storm, so I loved seeing what happened to Chloe beforehand. Now, I will say, it's not a perfect game. I wish they had changed the ending a little bit. It wasn't so linear. You have a butterfly effect for a game, but then you only have 2 options for endings. And I understand they're an indie, team, and it's hard to get everything down, and you have to film everything and just be done. And I knew I was not going to get, like, the best ending in the world, but I remembered getting one ending, and I can't remember which one I did when I had the Xbox One. I think I saved Chloe, if I remember correctly, and then I did both again, and I was like, ooh, I can see why now everybody was saying the same thing I did. It's you feel lost, like, why make 2 endings when you have a butterfly effect, and there's, like, so many scenarios and stuff like that. But yeah, that makes this game worthwhile. So if you've never played Life is Strange or Life is Strange Before the Storm, I recommend playing it. Yes, it is kind of like Until Dawn, where you have to do scenarios, but the one thing is it's very chill. You do have some scenarios, I will say, trigger warning, that you have to deal with people not feeling good, wanting to hurt themselves. So if that is not for you, don't play that game. But this is my game of the year. So thank you, Bandana Gamer, and thank you to everybody who watches this video. I'll pass it back on to him.
Life is Strange is a game I definitely need to check out, and I really want to thank Linda for submitting her pick for Game of the Year. Now let's turn it over to Captain Algebra to see what game ruled his 2019.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. First of all, I just want to thank the Bandana Gamer for asking me to be a part of this collaboration. As soon as he mentioned it to me, I knew I had to be part of it. So this one was pretty easy for me. My game of the year, which doesn't necessarily have to be from this year, but just the most impactful game on me this year. Definitely, as soon as he mentioned it, I knew the game I was going to choose right away. And that is The Messenger.
The Messenger came out in 2018 and was developed by Sabotage Studios and published by Devolver Digital. Ever since I played this game, I've gushed about it multiple times on my channel, and knew as soon as Jonathan asked me to be part of this collab, this would be my game of the year. There's definitely a number of contenders, like Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Jedi Fallen Order, but The Messenger was a game I could not stop playing. Even though I enjoy modern gaming, I'm a retro gamer at heart, and The Messenger was the perfect modern game with a retro feel. Even though we really couldn't get a game like this in the 8 and 16-bit eras, it's close enough to make it feel like that's the type of game you're playing. This action platformer has fantastic controls that allow you to do a variety of moves as you traverse your way through each level and boss fight. From the Cloud Step to the Climbing Claws, there's a way out of every situation. Even the boss fights remind me of a retro game. Their sprites are gorgeous, some of them take up the entire screen, and there are identifiable patterns that help you get past each and every boss. Another great part of this game is the humor. It doesn't matter if you're talking to the shopkeeper or a boss. The jokes and one-liners keep coming. And last, but certainly not least, is the music. This has to be one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. Every song fits the levels perfectly and have gotten stuck in my head at one point or another. you have not played this game yet, you need to make it a priority immediately. This game is that good.
So there you go. That was my game. Messenger is fantastic. I highly suggest you play it if you have not. It's on the Switch. It's on PS4. It's digital. It's physical. Find a way to play it. If you like retro action platformer games, you're going to love this one. And thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.
Thanks, Captain Algebra. Definitely will look at checking out the Messenger as we move into 2020. So this now brings me to my game of the year. My game was ported this year to Captain Algebra's favorite system, the Nintendo Switch. And for me, the game of the year, the game that defined my year and made the most impact on it, was Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of the Elusive Age, Definitive Edition. That is a mouthful, but Dragon Quest XI, particularly the Nintendo Switch port. When I was moving, this came out right as we got to DC, and for a while, all I had was my Nintendo Switch. And this game just hits so many of the right beats for me. It feels very much like an old school JRPG. I mean, it's the definitive JRPG series. But this, like, the turn-based combat felt great. The graphics and the colors and the world, also animated, also great. Akira Toriyama, while he only has one stylistic move, he is really, really great at it. And I loved all the character designs and all that work. The soundtrack, which would have been the weaker part of the PlayStation 4 version, does get orchestrated. There's still a little bit of a lack of music. All the towns have the same music, the overworld music, but it does sound great. The tunes are pretty good with the orchestration. This is just a really cool game. It does have the ability to be turned into 16-bit mode from any point in the game. I haven't done that just because I feel like the action is a lot better in the fight sequences if you leave it in the 3D mode. But this is definitely my pick of the year, or the game that impacted me the most in 2019. Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of the Elusive Age, Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Well, that'll do it for this one. I want to say a big thanks to everyone who participated in this. What is your game of the year? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I will catch y'all in the next one, my friends. Peace.